By all accounts, it has been a huge progressive win already. Earlier today, Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris wrote on X, "I am proud to announce that I've asked Tim Walz to be my running mate as governor, a coach, a teacher, and a veteran. He's delivered for working families like his. It's great to have him on the team. Now let's get to work. Join us." The Harris announcement on X was followed by the release of a Harris-Walz phone call.
Hi, this is Tim.
It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Madam Vice President.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country, the enthusiasm that's out there, it'll be a privilege to take this with you across the country.
Well, let me tell you, I have just the utmost respect for you.
There was some choreography, of course, in all of this because that phone call was actually apparently recorded after CNN had already broken the news. It takes a little while to set these things up, but in any case, earlier this morning, the news first came from CNN political reporter John King.
The why is going to be comfort level. The why is going to be that Harris believes this is a good governing partner. And the interesting conversation is going to be, again, if you look in the rearview mirror, history tells us you can't find a lot of data that says vice presidential picks are decisive when it comes to the election. So what is Vice President Harris looking to do here? Number one, a governing partner. Number two, a progressive Democrat. What is the Trump campaign saying? That she's quote unquote dangerously liberal. What will Governor Walz say? You mean a liberal who has his state guarantee abortion rights for women, a liberal who has his state feed young poor children who aren't getting meals, to make the argument that progressive government works?
Walz is 60 years old. He's an affable, likable, charismatic two-term governor who's been in office for nearly 6 years, at least in the governor's mansion. Before that, he served in the U.S. House for 12 years, and before that, he was an Army reservist for 24 years. Walz was born and raised in Nebraska, a point that the Harris campaign underscored in their first official campaign ad type of video of him. Watch.
When I grew up, community was a way of life. My high school class was 24 people. I was related to half of them. I learned to be generous towards my neighbors, compromise without compromising my values, and work for the common good. My dad was in the Army, and with his encouragement, I joined the Army National Guard when I was 17. I served for 24 years. I used my GI benefits to go to college and become a public school teacher. I coached football and taught social studies for 20 years. And I tried to teach my students what small-town Nebraska taught me: respect, compromise, service to country.
Walz's star began rising just a couple of weeks ago when he began making media appearances to promote Kamala Harris when President Biden announced that he was essentially withdrawing from the ticket. Walz's charisma and charm lit up the world of social media with those television appearances, but it also apparently caught the attention of Kamala Harris. And in the end, his earnestness and likability was apparently drove Harris in terms of directly wanting to pick him.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
As Politico reports, the Minnesota governor and vice president sat down for a one-on-one interview Sunday and connected despite having little relationship prior to the vice presidential selection process, according to two people close to the process granted anonymity to discuss private conversations. Several other factors were important to Harris as well. According to one of the people, Harris appreciated Walz's 2 terms as governor because he had accomplishments in Minnesota that Harris wants to replicate in her presidency: access to reproductive health, paid leave, child tax credits, and gun safety. Harris was also taken with Walz's biography, a former high school teacher, a football coach, and a veteran who flipped a Republican-leaning district in 2006, which she believes will play well in all 3 of the blue wall states of Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, including the win as a House member in a Republican district. Now, what about Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro? He seemed to check off all of the political boxes, and Pennsylvania is perhaps the most important big swing state. Well, Shapiro's personality, by all accounts, is a bit more intense than the more sort of laid-back, easygoing Walz. And according to Politico, there was a sense within Shapiro's team that, unlike Walz, the interview with Harris did not go as well as it could. Shapiro's interview, there was not a great feeling coming out of it, according to a person in touch with Shapiro's advisors. Also, Fox News reporter Jackie Heinrich is reporting that a video produced by a Shapiro friend, the mayor of Philadelphia, which was posted on Friday before the final interview with Harris, that video did not go over very well with the Harris campaign. Here's the video, watch.
Kamala Harris for president and Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro
for vice president. Now we need you. Let us and Kamala Harris know you stand with her. Together, we can do this.
The Harris campaign apparently thought that was a bit presumptuous and heavy-handed, and upon the news that Harris had decided to pick Walz, well, Shapiro was gracious and issued this statement. Vice President Kamala Harris has my enthusiastic support. I know that Governor Tim Walz is an exceptionally strong addition to the ticket who will help move our country forward. Lori and I consider Tim and Gwen to be good friends of ours, and we're excited for them and for the country to get to know the great people we know them to be. The race to define Walz is underway. A recent NPR poll found that 71% of all respondents said they had never heard of Walz or do not have an opinion of him. The Trump campaign has issued several statements today calling Walz dangerously liberal, and on social media, Trump himself called the Harris-Walz ticket the most radical left duo in American history. But on the conservative-leaning Drudge Report, there was this. It's Walz, and he doesn't wear eyeliner. Yes, even Matt Drudge is getting in on the claims that Donald Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance are weird. And Cenk, that seems like a great contrast for Democrats when you have weird versus the guy who looks like he could be your favorite uncle and teach you how to change the tires.
100%. So I want to get to my thoughts in a minute, and I want to tell you a couple of amazing facts about him that I think will unify the party. But before I do that, I want to actually go to our members because they made a series of excellent points. First, I want to go to our members on tyt.com. They, of course, sign up through tyt.com/team. We'll have the link below. Virginia and South Carolina said, so glad we got the progressive pick. Now let's go get peace in the Middle East. TYT Army for the win. So I appreciate everybody who tried to get, and this is what I just asked on social media right before we came on. Come on, if you were in the camp that wanted Biden to stay in, let's be honest. Aren't you kind of thrilled with what happened since? And it's okay, it's not about rubbing it in, guys. The next time that somebody argues for change, please have an open mind to it. Look at what change brought you. It brought you a great ticket. So hope is ascendant. Yeah, that's blue I see. That's hope I feel. And that's what everyone's feeling, and not just Virginia and South Carolina. So Eclectic Miscellanea wrote, and Cenk, you're usually right, but thank the gods that this is the one time you weren't. Kudos to Kamala Harris for defying the centrist and choosing a progressive for her VP pick. I want to say that because number one, I want to tell you not just when I'm right, but also when I'm wrong. I wanted Josh Shapiro. I thought she'd pick Josh Shapiro, and I was worried to death that she was going to pick Mark Kelly or Pete Buttigieg. One of the reasons that I argued for Shapiro is because I thought there's no way they're going to pick Tim Walz. He's so progressive. And he's such an interesting, potentially populist character. Some of the same reasons that I like Shapiro, some economic populism, some courage, etc. But I thought they're never going to pick the most progressive option, right? I'm shocked. And you know how every once in a while on the show I say, well, I'd be thrilled to be wrong. Well, I'm thrilled to be wrong. Okay, so you're right, Eclectic. Thank you for writing in on that. Shelby said Walz was not on the short list, but went on TV and made his case while also providing the Democratic Party with a new messaging strategy and became the choice within a matter of weeks. This is a guy we want in charge, and I'm so stoked to see it. There's a reason why I'm reading you these member comments, because they're right. Look at what Walz did. Here's another thing that I tell you. As progressives, as Democrats, we should be in favor of change. Sometimes change can be fantastic. Remember the Obama signs with the change word on it, whether he meant it or not? We all loved that and wanted that. The second thing is, I told you that things are possible. Guys, it isn't about me. It isn't about Biden. It isn't about any one particular situation. That's why we say get caught trying, get caught trying. Look at what Tim Walz did. I mean, live by example. He wasn't on any short list. He put himself on the short list by trying. He went on TV and he kicked ass and he rose up the ranks. Get caught trying, I love it, okay? Our members are 100% right. Last couple here from YouTube members. Louis David Lensa wrote, finally, with Walz in the tickets, it's a ticket I can vote for. Timeline correction enabled. Yeah, I was wondering if the TVA was involved as well. This is amazing. I can't believe we live in the correct timeline. So let's see how the rest of this campaign goes. But I love that, that's true. Eva Willman wrote in, Walz looks like a lovely grandpa or a lovely Santa. And that's to David's point. they're gonna try to demonize this guy as some sort of radical left guy. Well, I'll get to that in a second because that is gonna fail. It's a little bit complicated, but it's good that it's complicated. I'll explain it in 1 second. Last one, Bruce Salazar wrote in, balls to the walls with Z's at the end. I don't know how you guys read our minds because we literally just came up with that t-shirt. So you go to shoptyt.com and the link will be down below as well. Okay, Freudian slips everywhere. Balls to the walls, you're gonna love it, okay, and we got that for you. So now, my thoughts are along the lines of the members, and that's why I love having members. Hit the join button below. We do this show together. By the way, we do this show together so much that you guys were more for Tim Walz than I was. I pushed Josh Shapiro really hard because I thought that was the right pick, the most practical pick. I still believe that he would do better on Israel than anyone else. We can get into that debate on another time because it's not relevant anymore. Okay, but you guys got what you wanted, and I love it. And I love it. And so this is a show of the people, by the people, for the people. So here are the facts that these guys are alluding to about why he's such a good prick. That might have been a Freudian slip too, but he is the Republicans.
JD Vance. I know you were channeling JD Vance there, Cenk.
Yeah, no. He's great at fighting Republicans. That's part of why I like him. So if he's a prick to them, that's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get to that a little bit later in the show. So stay right here. But look, right now, here's an amazing stat. When he was in Congress, he was ranked the 7th most bipartisan member of Congress. Now, normally that's a stat that would scare me because, oh my God, is this some corporate, uniparty guy who's like, hey, you want to do a deal on tax cuts for the rich? You got a deal, right? No, it turns out he actually found a way, and you earn that not just by sometimes voting with Republicans, but much more importantly, getting Republicans to vote with you, with the bills that you sponsored. And he was great at that, okay? So while he was considered a moderate, and that's why Nancy Pelosi is among the people who pushed him the hardest, who pushed for him the hardest, he also managed to fight for higher minimum wage, lower drug prices through negotiating Medicare. This is a long time ago. He was right about it for so long, and he voted no on the bank bailouts. So he was a rare bird who was moderate in a slightly populist direction when populism barely existed, economic populism in this country. So he's an interesting cat. He's got all sorts of medals from the armed forces, where he was a reserve for the National Guard. He's the highest ranking member to ever serve in Congress that did not come in as an enlisted officer. And Manchin and AOC are thrilled with the pick. What? So you think this guy's gonna be divisive? No, he has found a magical way to unite the party. I know why AOC's happy with him. The reason we're all happy with him because he did incredible progressive things in Minnesota. But the reason Manchin and Nancy Pelosi don't mind him is because he found a way to do it in a way that resonates with rural voters, Midwestern voters, Appalachian voters. And he makes our economic populism look safe and popular because they are, and he actually gets the job done because these aren't things he was theoretically in favor of. These are things he actually got passed in Minnesota when he was in charge. So this is a fantastic pick. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.